the back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year, who had one of her best games last night, 3 for 4, 2 home runs. Talk about intimidation when she steps in the box. And she comes in on a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .632 during that time.
Hey, the law of averages, Tony Baldwin said. And I think sometimes as a pitcher, you have to respect when a player is swinging it well. But at the end of the day, it's being able to control the location piece, where we're throwing pitches and not missing. And that's what you saw yesterday with Backus at times. When she missed big, and they made her pay. So it doesn't help sometimes falling behind 2-0 to a hitter like Brady.
And make it 3-0 as Kerpix goes upstairs. Maya Brady, a big part of this turnaround for UCLA, a program that started 3-4 on the season and then won the conference regular season and tournament titles. And 4 pitches, all balls, will put Maya Brady on.
And oddly enough, Courtney, none of those seem like competitive pitches whatsoever. No. Like,
what is a competitive pitch?
Well, a pitch to me is one that you're getting ahead with, but that's not over the heart of the plate. Like, there was nothing even really close, and that could have been the rule of thumb coming in. Hey, we're just going to put Maya Brady on every time. I'm not sure. I know I've attacked some hitters that way where they've had my number. But being able to get ahead of hitters is going to be key for this Georgia Bulldog pitching staff.
I mean, especially at the top of this UCLA order, because you look at the top 3 in the lineup in the postseason. That includes the Pac-12 tournament. They're hitting .470. That's talking about Maya Brady, Jadalyn Alchin, who's at the plate now, and Charlize Palacios.
There it is. First strike after 6 straight balls, and has to feel good. And that was something we talked with Tony Baldwin about prior to. Like, that changeup's going to be a big piece trying to control this offense.
Maya Brady is going to second. Slides in safely for her 7th stolen base. And just like that, UCLA has a runner in scoring position.
Well, in recognizing that this is a changeup, that's going to give you that little extra number on the jump.
I think the change piece was kind of missing for Lily Backus last night, too.
And you saw it in the first inning. That was the pitch that Maya Brady hit out. But adrenaline and heart rate and changeups don't mix, right? So if you're not able to control the emotions of what an inning like that is going to feel like, especially the first one, Backus hasn't competed in a super regional. There's a different type of energy, and being able to kind of contain the emotions that go into that.
And Kerpix has pitched in a super regional.
She has, and I think yesterday with Backus, it was that first inning, getting that under her belt for sure was important. But sometimes your pitches can be elevated and changeups can be faster because your body is working hard and it's not going how you normally would just throw your regular everyday change.
That's a full count here to Jadalyn Alchin, who's on a 4-game hitting streak, hitting .571 in the NCAA tournament. And she's doing that hitting behind Maya Brady. So important.
That guy totally
error.
Piffed it. People are giving him a hard time about it, including us on air.
Be better. This will be the 8th pitch to Alchin. Pop up towards right field. Jada Kearney coming in. Maya Brady thought about it, but she'll stay at second.
And you will see a little bit more pitches being thrown and these hitters battling, but to me that's a victory for Madison Kerpix. You're getting her out on the pitch that she hits almost the worst. Essentially, you look at Jadalyn Alchin, I mean, a 121 average off of that pitch up in the zone. Battles 8 pitches and then throws something with a little upspin and gets her to pop out. That's huge.
Doesn't get any easier with Charlize Palacios. She has had a home run in 4 of their last 6 games for a total of 5 home runs during that span. Palacios, the catcher that transferred in from Arizona, has made all the difference for the Bruins at the plate and behind the plate. Maya Brady in scoring position after a walk to start the game. Palacios, hard hit ball, bounces it off the wall in left, and Maya Brady gets the go-ahead to come on home. Bruins on top 1-0. That's 10 RBI in the tournament now for Palacios.
Well, Madison Kerbrick's just setting herself up for failure here. We're 2-0 to someone like Palacios. You know you have to throw something in and around the zone. And for a second, I thought this was a laser out of here, but hits the bottom part of the warning track. Maya Brady reads it well, gets in. But listen, Courtney, it comes down to you have to be able to get ahead of these hitters. You're falling behind. You're constantly playing catch-up, and they are swinging it way too well right now to constantly be in those hitters' counts.
Yeah, this is a lineup for UCLA that is so confident. They have won 12 games in a row, and you see the top three in the order hitting .470 in the postseason. But now if you're Georgia, what we didn't see last night was a good response when they gave up runs, when mistakes happened, and that's something Tony Baldwin challenged them with. How do you respond now? Megan Grant at the plate, leading UCLA in the NCAA tournament with 6 walks, but Kerbrick's ahead 1-2 here. All Pac-12 first team selection. She's going to play in the Japan All-Star Series this summer with Team USA again. In the last 2 weekends, Megan Grant has had some of the best at-bats. Yeah. Even if she doesn't get the hit, I mean, she makes pitchers work.
Well, and it's her plate coverage of being able to foul off a pitch that maybe is close, but it's not a comfort pitch that she wants to do something with. So it's fouling off and kind of being that annoying AB where a pitcher is like, man, now I have to give you something a little bit more on the plate because we're just battling and battling. But this is when that changeup from Madison Kerbrick comes into play. I mean, you're seeing her really kind of use that outside part of the plate, the 8th pitch of this at-bat. If you can drop maybe that little changeup on the inner half to Megan Grant here. Like, that's not a competitive pitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's not anything that Megan Grant is even going to sniff at. And that's when, you know, when you are throwing pitches like that, it's like, okay, now I really got to come back. You want something in and around the zone a little bit. It's going to get the body movement of the hitter.
Megan Grant drops that into the gap. Palacios going to third. It'll be runners on the corners with 1 out. Just the 3rd hit of the NCAA.
I'm with you.
But now a great setup here for Jordan Woolery. Runners on the corners, 2 down.
And 5 first pitch balls to all these hitters that have come up. So for someone, 47% of the time, she's usually coming at a hitter with that first pitch strike, but has struggled here in the first.
And that hit her in the leg. Bases loaded now for, talk about clutch. That would be Savannah Pola, who has 2 walk-off hits in the NCAA tournament, 1 to beat Virginia Tech and 1 to run rule this Georgia team last night.
Want an opportunity here to break it wide open for UCLA. And you could tell it almost took the wind out of the sails a little bit from the jump in the first inning with UCLA yesterday, and that Maya Brady solo shot and continuing to get the momentum. But when you think of Savannah Pola, I mean, no Grand Slams in her career.
Her only home run this season was a 3-run home run against Florida State on February 26th. She is on a 4-game hit streak, though. Doesn't have to send it out of the park.
She's definitely a pitch-to-contact type hitter. She's someone that knows this field well, obviously home field advantage, but we've seen her really utilize the dirt in front of home plate and get that good hop. Good opposite field power.
She's been working in that DP position for UCLA. It's going to be a slow roller to Kuma. The play throwing home to Lindy Ray Davis, definitely in time. So Savannah Pola will reach on the fielder's choice. 2 down.
And this is a good play by Sydney Kuma in the moment. There's pressure, there's bases loaded, and sometimes being able to field it cleanly under pressure and make that throw, it seems easy, but there's a lot riding on this inning right here. So I think that's clutch now for Georgia. 2 down.
And Georgia talked to us. They've got to take care of the bottom of the lineup. That's where we are now. Seneca Curro, the number 7 hitter who only has 1 hit in the NCAA tournament. I mean, if Georgia can get out of this situation and only give up the 1 run, that would be huge.
Yes.
This will be the 33rd pitch delivered by Kerpix.
I would have had you.
If that comes over here.
Gotcha.
1, I just realized your blazer matches the softball. And 2, you better save me.
I mean, it would blend.
Ball and 2 strikes to Curro.
Dirty.
And that is big time for Madison Kerpix and Georgia.
Change up to her advantage and needs to hit her stride. And I say that because at times she's struggled a little bit. She's been down for the count, was out for a couple weeks. And Caitlin Terry has been carrying majority of the load. And the importance for this UCLA team, I think if they find a way to get out of this super regional, they need 2 pitchers that feel confident going into Oklahoma City, if that's the case, because it is hard to do some damage in OKC with just 1 arm.
Let's take a look at the Georgia starting lineup brought to you by Capital One and Dallas Goodnight. Leading off for this Georgia Bulldogs team, you see Jada Kearney and Sarah Mosley. They're tied for the team lead with 20 home runs each. This one hit to Maya Brady at short. And, man, she makes everything look easy.
Just the picks. So smooth. Going to her glove side, being able to pick that so well. Makes it look easy. I mean, she came in, and we saw her actually play outfield a little bit for UCLA, and then Coach Kellyanne Perez made that transition for her and said, hey, we're going to have to make you a shortstop. And the importance, she said today in our meeting, of her playing short behind 2 young pitchers this year has been key with the leadership, the constant chatter that she's giving them, the defensive web gems. Those are all things that impact younger pitchers in a positive way.
Well, she took over last year when Seneca Curro got hurt.
Yep.
So Maya Brady had to move into that shortstop position and has thrived. (1-1) to Sydney Chambly. Chambly was the hero in the regional final in Game 7. Georgia's season down to their final out. She had the walk-off hit to beat Liberty and advance to Super Regionals for the 13th time.
Looks like she's pumping a little heavier velo here. Mind you, we've seen her at times when she's come in, it's been a little bit more change heavy, but she's throwing and coming at these hitters, keeping the change in her arsenal.
They'll say Chambly did not go.
Yeah, going with the up, going with that curve.
We talked to Kelly Inouye-Perez before this game, and she told us Taylor Tinsley was going to get the start. She said it's so important to have both of them ready as our season moves forward, meaning Tinsley and Terry. And that's a walk. Sydney Chambly will take it. Kelly Inouye-Perez took over the pitch calling duties also after that 3-4 start to the season, trying to take the pressure off of Charlize Palacios, their catcher, so she can focus on these young pitchers. And what a pitch caller to have, a former catcher at UCLA herself.
Yeah. And I think that's been a good thing for Charlize. I know she was feeling that pressure right out of the gate in the season to kind of be that sounding board for those young pitchers.
Jada Kearney drops it in the grass in left. Now on a 5-game hit streak. And 2 on for Georgia.
And this is the momentum that this Georgia team needs right now. Jada Kearney coming up clutch, gets jammed a little bit, but man, she is so strong, finds green. It's not a bad spot, it's in on her hands. But this is when Georgia, we saw yesterday, would get runners on base, and then it would be a couple double plays and things here that just kind of shut down, almost like a buzzkill type feel. So an opportunity here for the senior Sarah Mosley to try to get something going.
Tinsley ahead of Mosley, 0-2. Sarah Mosley ended a season-long 9-game hit streak last night against this UCLA team. She did have 3 home runs, though, last weekend in the regional. And Tony Baldwin, Georgia's head coach, told us, we got a little internal last night. And he said, I've seen it happen at times this season. Things aren't going our way. It becomes internal. And so he really talked to them about coming out aggressive, being ready. Overall, 4-19. Mosley gets jammed. Tessa Malaulu with the grab, runners hold. 2 down.
Well, and to me, it's about the spot by Tinsley. This is a jam job in on the hands. This is a great pitch. And this is what it comes down to. If you're able to kind of control where you locate the ball, you're going to get hitters to sometimes swing at a pitcher's pitch, and that's what you see in that situation.
Lindy Ray Davis, the catcher, steps in. Tying run at second.
I feel like you can't express enough the importance of like Georgia just being able to get a run here, right?
Yes.
Like you could tell yesterday that the tension was building and the pressure was there, and hence why they became internal. And at times when you put that much pressure on yourself to do something, you feel it and it feels too big. So for them to be able to just get a run, tie this ball game.
Right past a diving Seneca Curro, and Chambly gets the green light to go home. They do tie the game. Bulldogs respond.
And that's so clutch right now, Courtney, for Georgia. You can tell this is an offense yesterday at times that was pressing a little bit, going against Caitlin Terry, a new arm in the circle, and Taylor Tinsley finding ways to use that hard ground to their advantage. Lindy Ray Davis right back up the middle. But you could just tell, you could hear the dugout, you could hear the Georgia fans, and that's what it's all about. When you're not playing at home and it's not your home crowd, you got to bring it. You got to get the energy from somewhere and create that. And being able to get that first run across for this Georgia offense that knows how to score a ton of runs has to feel good.
Yeah, they're averaging 5.5 runs per game in the tournament, but they got shut out last night. Tinsley is going to scoop that one. Do we have ourselves a tie ball game after an
Chicago, that would probably be a bucket list thing for them.
So it'll be 8-9 and 1 up. Tessa Malauulu starting for UCLA. UCLA made Madison Krupik's work in the first inning. She threw 34 pitches. They left the bases loaded, though, so that's a win for Georgia, and now they got a tie ball game.
And using that, if you're Madison Krupik's, to your advantage of like, all right, hey, my offense has my back. They came, they found a way to get a run back there up on the board. But I think for me, it's about being able to execute pitches early on in the count that you can get for strikes.
Malauulu looking at the warning track, bounced it off the wall. That's a single in this park. She will take it. Now a 5-game hit streak for UCLA's third baseman.
And to me, it's going to be the bottom half of the lineup that is so important for UCLA. You know, up top, they're going to be clutch, but for Tessa Malauulu to be able to step up here in a situation like this and pass the bat to Janelle Maonio, which then gets up Maya Brady. So to me, this bottom half turns it over so quick.
And when your 9-hitter is hitting 450 her last 12 games, yes, please, going with the bunt. Digby gets it to Kuma in time to retire Maonio, but that does bump over Malauulu into scoring position. And now Maya Brady with a runner in scoring position, and you know she's hungry for a hit. Walked in her first at bat, 3 for 4 yesterday. There goes the runner. Malauulu to third.
And so quick, Malauulu recognizes Lindy Ray Davis. And this is easy work. Gets over to 3, no problem.
Yeah, wild pitch advances the runner. Right back to Krupik. It'll roll out to center. UCLA back on top. Maya Brady now 7 RBI in the tournament.
And that's how you manufacture runs. The leadoff gets on base. Maonio lays down that sac bunt, and then Maya Brady steps up. I mean, this is not a ball blistered back up the middle. It almost goes off the end of the bat, but she's able to take it right back up the middle and continue to be as clutch as ever.
1 away, 1 on for Jadalyn Alchin. First pitch, over comes Kearney, and Alchin is retired.
And if I am a pitcher, I am fully aware that Jadalyn Alchin swings at 50% of those first pitches. And she's kind of the exception to the rule. You'll see a lot that tend to take pitches for strikes, 40s and 50%. But we've seen her step up and do some damage right out of the gate. So as a pitcher, it's recognizing those moments of like, okay, I have to locate a pitch, but I don't need it to be too close.
What do you do with Palacios? That is the question, right? A little RBI single action for her in the first. And now she's got Maya Brady at first base.
Well, with 2-0, you know what I'm going to say. I know. The hard part is that 1 through 4, I mean, electric averages. Like, they are just so good. So sometimes to say, hey, let's walk Palacios right now and go to Megan Grant and how she's been swinging it too. But I don't know, at times it's a pick your poison. I almost put her on here.
It's a 3-0 count.
Yeah, there's just no point.
Yeah, they're going to. Lindy Ray Davis takes a wide step out to catch that pitch from Krupik. And Palacios on for the second time tonight. First time by the free pass. And now the battle with Megan Grant, round 2, Grant and Krupik. It was a 9-pitch at bat that resulted in a single for Megan Grant in the first.
Well, and a good piece of hitting. So it's recognizing that Megan Grant was able to go to left center with a good piece of hitting.
And I think we might have a pitching change here.
Bit of pressure.
Facing Megan Grant first. 2 outs and 2 on. Maya Brady at second. Charlize Palacios at first. UCLA retook the lead here in this inning with an RBI single from Brady.
And that curveball for Backus is an important pitch for her to be able to get a little bit lower in the zone. That up pitch not going to be called for a strike.
Grant pops up and over the netting. We got a catch in the stands.
That's an out in Savannah Banana World.
I don't think they're playing in Super Regionals.
All right, all right.
Boom. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
He had that lady's top of the head, just had her back.
This one just on the edge of left field. Ellie Armistead grabs it, and UCLA leaves 2 on. But the Bruins retake the lead here in the second inning, thanks to an RBI.
They need to score often, just simply with how Caitlin Terry has been throwing it from the left side. It's not to say Taylor Tinsley hasn't been throwing well, but she just hasn't been as crisp as someone like the lefty Terry.
Yeah, and Taylor Tinsley getting the start tonight. Kelly Inoue Perez told us so important to get her out there, to get her this start for the future, moving forward, whatever happens tonight, tomorrow for UCLA. Tinsley, a player that they have rested really the last month of the season. She'll start with 7-8-9. Jaden Goodwin up, and that's a slow hopper to Seneca Kuro, retires the first batter. How different is Taylor Tinsley compared to what Georgia saw last night from Caitlin Terry?
Yeah, very. I mean, KT is that lefty that throws hard last night, and then the difference, Taylor Tinsley can definitely amp it up, but a little bit, has some good up spin, but to me, it's her change. She can throw that at a couple different speeds, and it's super deceptive. So to me, she can read these barrel angles and how hitters step in the box with this approach against her, and can throw pitches based on that. And to me, being able to change speeds the way she can is so important. And when I say that she really is a changeup specialist, to me, it's one of the best that I've seen in the college game. But needing to hit her stride, and I say that because she's taken some time off. She did take a good little bit off this season, and kind of really trying to fine-tune and get her to her best place. If they punch their ticket to Oklahoma, you need 2 healthy arms in trying to make that run for a national championship.
Well, Taylor Tinsley did not play from April 26th to May 10th. That was a 7-game stretch where Caitlin Terry carried the load. She's facing Emily Digby now, the freshman first baseman, and it's 3 straight balls to Digby. Excuse me, 3-1 now is the count.
But when I think about this Georgia team and just the adversity that they just had to face in the regional, going to Game 7, I mean, 14-5 win in Game 6 on Sunday, and then came back and won with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Like, that emotional roller coaster as a player and as a senior, when you are already thinking like, hey, my season may be done. And it gives you a different feel.
Maya Brady calls everybody off, 2 down.
And I think this different appreciation, getting another day to play with your teammates too.
I mean, that was all in one day for Georgia. They had to win Game 6, backs against the wall. They did that, hit 6 home runs, casual.
Yeah.
And then it was a pitcher's duel in Game 7, like 30 minutes later. And they walked that off. Sydney Chambly with the walk-off. Here's the shortstop, Ellie Armistead, in the 9-hole. Georgia, a team that's averaging 5.5 runs per game in the tournament, shut out last night, just the 2nd time all season. Armistead still seeking her first hit in this year's NCAA tournament.
Good spot with that curveball.
Right back to Tinsley, didn't even flinch. And it's 3 up, 3 down.
Because it didn't allow any momentum to happen for Georgia.
Jordan Woolery loved the first pitch she got from Lily Backus. And the leadoff has reached every inning for UCLA. It came down to our next batter, by the way, for UCLA to secure that run rule victory. It was their first run rule in a super regional since 2010. But Savannah Pola, who has been so clutch, she had the walk-off to beat Virginia Tech last weekend in regionals, and then a little walk-off action last night to run roll the Bulldogs. Sarah Mosley, Georgia looking for 2, no chance. Oh no, and Sydney Kuma comes up hobbling. Was trying to grab the ball and make the throw over to second, looking for 2, and so Jaden Goodwin is going to move from left field to second base, and Sydney Chambly, who was in the DP spot, is going to move over to left field.
Three's in for 6, 3 for 6. 9's in left field, 9's in left. Number 2's playing second.
And for the injured Kuma at second base for Georgia, it's going to be number 2, Jaden Goodwin. In left field.
So if you're just tuning in, Sydney Kuma went down with an injury. Looked like she rolled that ankle trying to turn a double play, was just carried off the field for Georgia. So that'll move Jaden Fields, by the way, into the DP spot because Sydney Chambly is now out in left field. Here's how the defense looks for Georgia now with those changes. Goodwin at second, Chambly in left are the 2 big ones. Seneca Curl at the plate here as Savannah Pola reached on that fielder's choice. Foul ball.
Yeah, definitely a hard situation for the defense, right? Because you know how tight-knit this group is. And it's their teammate, but it's essentially someone like their sister. So you know, to them, it's being able to have the short-term memory and trying to get out of this inning and go back in and be able to check in on how she is.
You mentioned that drill they do, Amazon Prime, where every player plays every position defensively, including standing in the pitching circle and taking a comebacker.
Yeah.
So they train for this, being able to move around, but of course you hope you never see it. Chambly getting tested immediately in left field and hits the gas to run in for that one to retire Kuro. Tony Baldwin, since he took over as the head coach 3 years ago, he put an emphasis on the defense. He said, we want to be one of the best defensive teams that we can be. He's added JT D'Amico, who's helped with that. Lots of situational work defensively for this Georgia team. Malauulu trying to lay down the bunt.
Yeah, JT really, I mean, such a defensive specialist. The numbers don't lie. I mean, the fielding percentage of this team before JT got on board that year before was a .955, and that year after he had gotten that whole year of work in, I mean, upped it already to .972. Just The little things are so big in his eyes. And to me, when it comes to the defense, that gives you confidence as a pitcher when you're seeing them step up and make some of these big time plays. But even talking with Jada Kearney and Sarah Mosley, like, he's really been able to get in their dome in such a positive way to enjoy the process.
Mala'ulu past a diving Goodwin. 2-on. Her second hit of the night. And already the first two batters we've seen since the defensive changes, both of those new positions have been tested, left field and at second.
And that was a tough one at
yeah.
Jaden Goodwin up the middle on that one by Mala'ulu. And I don't know why I'm feeling a Ramsey Suarez
pinch hit right here?
Yeah.
You feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
And Kelly Inouye Perez and Kurt Walker are talking about it. Some kind of change. Have you called UCLA softball before?
I'm a manifester.
Yeah. Here's Ramsey Suarez, the leading pinch hitter for this UCLA team, a Bruin team that has pinch hitters hits over 400 on the season. She's 9 for 22. Her last 14 games, 538 average, 4 RBI. So she will bat in the 9 spot.
And I like that off speed right out of the gate. Obviously not a strike, not close. Would have loved it to be a little bit more in and around for strike one, but just kind of gets the body movement of Suarez in the lower half.
Up to shallow center, Dallas Goodnight underneath it, and 2 more runners left on for UCLA as they try to four-peat to be the first team to four-peat. I love the postseason.
Tension was heightened in that Texas A&M game. A couple coaches got ejected. I mean, we had a pinch hit grand slam.
I mean, it was spicy.
It was.
I'm here for it.
I don't mind a spicy game. I think it makes for a pretty great series when you think of what game 2 is going to be like as far as the athletes, especially like when the #1 seed goes down game 1. It kind of takes the softball world by storm a little bit.
I love that we have that rivalry, Texas A&M playing, the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. That's across all sports. That's a thing. And you know that Patrick Murphy is going to have his Alabama Crimson Tide fired up for game 2 tomorrow. Top of the order facing Taylor Tinsley for the second time, Dallas Goodnight.
Even tuning in, I mean, that Stanford LSU, like that series with Nigeri Kennedy going up against Sydney Berzon, and LSU actually ahead right now, 3-1. Another spicy series, in my opinion.
I love it. Spicy supers.
Hey.
That's a thing. Two to Goodnight.
Good pitch.
Oh, it's going to run the count full, though.
And I like it at the count. Yeah, maybe Chris Neighbors has not been calling this pitch all night, but the location of it at a 2-2 count, it's a good spot. And that pitch is what sets up this next one, down in the zone with the off speed. So taking note, hey, sometimes a pitch that you feel maybe I should have got for a strike doesn't get you the outcome you want. To me, it's ultimately the one that sets up the next one. And a little bit low in the zone, I get it, but then downstairs with the off speed, her bread and butter all day. One sets up the other. That's a money strikeout.
So now Tinsley goes up against Sydney Chambly for the second time, who walked in the first inning. He came around and had a run scored off the bat of Lindy Ray Davis. Georgia's first run in this super regional, as they were run ruled last night. Chambly right over to Maya Brady, pops up in the infield. In steps Jada Kearney, has already extended her hit streak to 5 games now with a single in the first inning, and 3-time All-SEC first team selection. Tied for the team lead with 20 home runs. Jada Kearney, one of those veteran players. She committed as an 8th grader to Georgia and has never wavered since then, has been there the rest of the time. Maya Brady wants it again. 3 up, 3 down. Go down. Do you have any update on her?
Yeah, she's hurting, and that's all we know right now. Obviously, there's medical information to find out, but she's as tough as any kid that I've coached. And you know, you use the phrase, you love them like your own. There isn't anything in the world I love more than my own children, but I tell you what, I love that kid an awful lot. She's given everything. She's given a lot to Georgia, and I hate to see her go off that.
Coach, just conversations that you're having with your offense, kind of setting them up for that second, third time through the lineup.
Yeah, you know, Taylor's doing a good job. She's mixing both sides of the plate, and our lefties are having some better at-bats than our righties. Right now, our righties are having a hard time identifying the pitch and being on time, and so we just got to keep fighting and, you know, just stay in it. Lily's competing, and we've got ourselves out of a couple jams here, and, yeah, just got to stay in it, just keep fighting, and, you know, I feel like we're fighting an uphill battle right now, but if we can just stay in it and string some at-bats together, anything can happen.
Thanks, Tony. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can see what Cindy Kuma means to Tony Baldwin in this program. One of 9 graduate students on the roster, a veteran, a leader for this group. If you're just joining us, she went down in the last inning trying to turn a double play. Really twisted that right ankle and had to be carried off the field. I mean, you could see tears coming down her face. And this is a close-knit Georgia team. I mean, she has been there her entire career.
Yeah, it's emotional for sure, wanting your seniors to, whatever happens, go out together on the field, whether they get another day to fight and play. But the way that happened, gosh, it's gut-wrenching, right? Like, and you can tell this isn't something she's coming back later on in the game. She's down for the count.
We're thinking about Cindy Kuma of Georgia. Maya Brady, second hit tonight for Maya Brady. She is now 7th on UCLA's all-time hits list. Already has an RBI single in this game and a walk, so she's reached every time she's been up at the plate, and now every inning UCLA's leadoff has reached. They have left 7 on base, though, including leaving the bases loaded in the first inning. Top 3 in the lineup, again, so scary for the Bruins as Jadalyn Alchin steps in. Coming into this game, the top 3 hitters, Maya Brady, Alchin, and Palacios, combined to hit .470 in the postseason. That does include the Pac-12 tournament. Not a bad way to start your lineup.
And I think there's just a different type of heat that you have to be able to take if you're a 2-hitter hitting behind Maya Brady. And that's why I really can appreciate Jadalyn Alchin and just what she's been able to do. She is that triple threat, has the power.
Alchin had an 8-pitch at-bat in the first inning, but that was against Madison Kerpix. We saw Lily Backus come into this game in the second inning.
Good pitch.
And a strikeout. Has been such a huge asset for the Bruins, including hitting 9 home runs over the last 17 games. Her postseason numbers, these 2, not bad. This little 1-2 punch.
Well, to me, it's when one may not have the characteristic night, the other one really steps up and has their back. One's the peanut butter to the jelly, no doubt, the Bash sisters. And
Which one's peanut butter and which one's jelly?
yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, both are great.
Both are great. Are you an Uncrustable fan? You like a good...
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking.
Solid thing to put in the kids' lunches, for sure.
What makes Palacios so good at the plate right now?
God, I mean, she's confident as ever, and I think it comes down to her being able to be patient in her at-bats, knowing at times she's going to get pitched around and not wanting to get beat, yet she still finds herself being the queen. So it's knowing when the pitch is right.
There goes Brady, and that throw from Lindy Ray Davis goes out to center. Second stolen base for Maya Brady tonight.
And Maya Brady has just been reading all day. So good. And you're not seeing as much stolen bases this year as you are when you were seeing all the instant replays with going back and seeing if that runner left early. So you're not seeing 2, 3, 4 stolen bases a game like that.
I mean, she only had 6 coming into the game. Palacios underneath it, lifting it over the fence. 19 home runs this season for Charlize Palacios. She just gets it done.
She just has the ability to go oppo taco like crazy. Backdoor curveball on the outer half. No doubt about it. Short fences for sure, but this had some good carry. Brady loving it. But to me, it's all about when she's rounding the bases. She actually ended up dropping that candy from Kirk Walker.
You know, the whether you catch or drop the candy does not show up on the stat sheet.
It does not, but those are the little things you remember, those Jolly Ranchers.
I think Bruin fans are going to remember that she's had a home run in 5 of her last 7 games now for a total of 6 in that span. Brings us to Megan Grant. UCLA trying to extend a 12-game winning streak, but more importantly, trying to make the Women's College World Series for the 32nd time. They can do that with a win tonight. Georgia has to win this game to extend their season and play a game 3 tomorrow.
And talking with Kelly Inouye Perez prior to this game, she said, I can't even put my finger on it, like what it is, but just like the vibe of the team and the things that are going right and the defense and just the little things. And at times when you're on a roll, that's what it feels like.
Goodwin bobbled it, but still got it there. Remember, Jaden Goodwin had to move over from left field to second base when Sydney Kumo went down.
This is such a good play by Jaden Goodwin. Ball takes it to her glove side. Little spinaroo with the throw on the money to Emily Digby. And that's not an easy play to spin and be accurate with your throw. Especially coming from left field to then going to play second. Impressive.
Of course the ball's going to find you immediately. There's Jordan Woolery, 2 down, nobody on.
I'll tell you, they didn't put me at second.
You don't say.
Didn't find me. No, a little DP action, maybe a little first base one time in my career.
Yeah. The position you would least want to play would be
middle infield or third.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot corners.
That's tough.
It's a scary place nowadays.
Catcher?
Definitely.
Digby scoops it saw Charlize Palacios blast another home run. What are you loving most about the at-bats that she's giving you right now?
Oh, I mean, everything. There's nothing better than being able to come through at this time of the year, and she's been hot. She's been hot for us this last third. Obviously, she's done some great things throughout the season, but it's a dream come true, right? To be able to play your best at this point, but she's playing out of her mind. The best part about it is she's actually playing her game. You know, she has the strength, she has the power, she's coming through clutch, and the consistency of it is just great for us.
Coach, Taylor Tinsley, I know the change is the go-to pitch for her, but to me what's really stood out is her jamming up those right-handed hitters really well. Talk about what you've seen over the course of the last couple innings from her.
You know, I think exactly that. You know, we knew that they had to come up. She had to come up with, you know, hitting some good spots. You know, everybody knows that Taylor Tinsley throws a changeup, so it's just when. Yeah. And the ability to be able to throw all parts of, you know, her game. She can throw in, out, up, down. She has it all. I mean, like I said, the best part is, you know, she has that dirty change, but she also has others. But she's come up with quality pitches to be able to keep us in this ball game, and that's the goal, is for her to continue to know when to throw strikes and when to stretch it. And once again, the changeup is always a dirty weapon.
Coach, don't be alarmed, but there is a monkey behind you.
Oh, God.
Thanks. We appreciate your time.
That's how loose we are. Got it. Thank you.
That's Caitlin Terry's monkey. Her dad gave it to her at Pac-12 tournament, I believe.
And she had it in her hand every single inning that she came out from pitching yesterday. Yeah. Stood in the back of the dugout, had that monkey, talking to Rob Schweier.
Whatever works, right?
I love it. Hey, pitchers are superstitious.
They're a little strange sometimes.
Yeah, I have no issue saying that on air.
And you're one of my good friends.
we have our issues in the best way. We get superstitious about things. Monkeys and all the things.
Was yours a headband? What was
the purple headband? My freshman year, I actually would get so psyched in the 5th inning that I would start like saying things, and I carried a block of wood in my bag. I would knock on wood. Yeah, never told you that one.
Wow. I'm glad to share this moment with you.
It's a judge-free zone. Thank you. Then I got over it. So
okay. If you show up to the field now with a block of wood in your bag, I'll be concerned. Sarah Mosley's going to lead off here, facing Taylor Tinsley. Georgia's lone run came on an RBI single from Lindy Ray Davis in the 1st inning. That's Tinsley ahead, 1-2. Sprinting in, Jadalyn Alchin might make SportsCenter top 10 again. She was number 8 today with her diving catch in the gap last night. And how about this one sliding in?
Yeah, Jadalyn Alchin so clutch out there in left field, sees the field so well, can lay it all out when she needs to. We saw her lay out for one yesterday, and like you said, make SportsCenter a top 8. And I mean, Taylor Tinsley on a roll. She's retired the last 8. I think what's impressed me the most, yeah, she has the changeup. You saw it right there to get ahead of the hitters, but I think she's really kind of exposed that inner half to those right-handed hitters, and maybe they weren't expecting it. Another look at Alchin, just...
That's awesome. It's like a slip and slide in left field. This one to center, Janelle Maonio. Scooped.
That's what tends to happen, like Coach Inoue Perez says, like things just start to roll and defense will step up. And I mean, she seems so happy talking to her earlier, just about all the little things that have helped impact this team and get them to where they're at. I mean, the mental performance coach and his conversations with this team, how much that has really impacted UCLA as a whole, Kelly Inoue Perez included, the coaches included, because they obviously went through kind of an uncharacteristic finish to the season last year with who they had in the circle with Megan Framo and Brooke Yanez, the transfer.
Jaden Fields, who's moved into the DP position, grounding out to Mala'u.
came back in that 5th inning, put up a 7 spot, and then had 11 unanswered runs in 3 innings. Like, those are just the little things that give you confidence. But listen, when I think about this series right now, Courtney, obviously this is a team that didn't make it to this far in the season last year, but there's a different confidence that they have in the postseason. They are not fazed by the pressure. They appreciate that part of the game, and that, to me, is what really stands out about this team. And it's not that Georgia can't hang. We've seen them go to the World Series. I mean, shoot, they went there in 2021. Were you covering? No.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a team that has made it to OKC. They have the ability to do it, but UCLA, when the time and the lights are bright, they are a team that knows how to show up time and time again.
And you mentioned the mental performance piece of it. Armando Gonzalez, they call him Mondo. Dr. Mondo has come on this year as their mental performance coach. And this was something that was so important for Kelly Inouye-Perez after what they experienced last year. And she called it trauma. This is a team that had gone to 7 straight Women's College World Series. And last year, they didn't even win a game in the tournament. They went 0-2 in the regional they hosted. And so she knew they were going to need extra mental help, and he has helped big time with that. Something they talk about as you see Savannah Pola leading off here is that it's already written. They have T-shirts that say this, and Dr. Mondo has taken the pressure off. Just have the mindset that what's supposed to happen is going to happen. Whether you go 3 for 4, whether you strike out, it's going to happen, and it's going to be okay. So let's take the pressure off of every little thing that happens in this game.
And I think it gives you good perspective as well. Like, this is one of the most challenging games to be able to play because you have to deal with the success and the failure piece, and you have to be okay with that. So to be able to have someone that can help you go through and kind of bridge that gap so you're not always having to figure it out by yourself. Because let's be honest, if you're playing this game at a high level these days and you do not have a mental performance coach, like, the difference from the good and the great at this point is what's between the ears. So someone being able to sharpen that tool, because everyone gets to that point where they're great at this game at that level. So to me, that competitive advantage is knowing how to deal with the lumps and the bumps that come with it. And embracing the hard. That's what makes this game so great, right? Like, yeah. But even like our short time, we got to talk with him at the Pac-12 tournament. I was like, can I tell you my life story? Like, you feel like comfort.
9th pitch to Pola. Back up the middle. Well, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. The action begins Thursday, May 30th. That's less than a week away at 12 Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2024 Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Oklahoma is the first team that has punched its ticket back to Oklahoma City. A win tonight for UCLA would do the same for the Bruins. Seneca Curro up against Lily Backus.
Leadoff has been on every single inning for UCLA. Wow. These are just like the little things, right? Like, if you want to try to get back in a ball game, those can end up hurting you because a team like UCLA will make you pay.
Curro laying down the bunt. Digby crashing on it, and it gets away from Goodwin. Moves Pola over to third. Remember, Jaden Goodwin had to shift in from left field to second base after the injury to Sydney Kuma.
And it comes down to just being able to play that sharp defense, and Digby going over to Jaden Goodwin, just cannot glove it up. And this is putting pressure on the D. More importantly, putting pressure on Jaden Goodwin.
They upheld that ruling because it was an errant throw, because of the error called on that play. Normally when you see an infield play like that for the defense, the runner needs to be in that running lane. Malaulu taking the first pitch. Chambly coming in. Pola tagging, trying to come home, and she is safe. And Hatch over to third as it got away from Lindy Ray Davis behind the plate.
And UCLA continuing to find ways to manufacture runs here, especially in that 5th inning. Mala'ulu with the F7 to Chambly, but enough juice on it to score that run. Pola gets in, not backed up enough, so you do see Hatch make her way to third base.
And now Janelle Mayonio in the 9 spot. Still no outs here. Again, 38% of UCLA's runs in the tournament have come here in the 5th inning. High hopper to Goodwin. And she makes the play at first, gives the runner a little look at third.
Someone that's carried on that momentum that she had from yesterday to today. That walk, a couple singles. Gosh, she's just so good in that leadoff spot. She just gives this fear factor of the lineup right out of the gate when she sets foot in the box. Calm, cool, and collected. And a senior that is hoping to punch her ticket to Oklahoma City.
And Maya Brady gets even better with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. For her.
Something I think is so cool when she's up that just gives me such a big league feel is you'll see especially behind home plate, you'll just see like phones pop up and they're recording her at bats just to kind of, she's someone that has that it factor and people want to see it. So when little kids are putting their phones up and recording Maya Brady in the moment, those are just special moments, and the impact that she has on this Bruin team and this culture and everything that they're all about. She's that player to me. When you think of UCLA right now, you think of Maya Brady.
This one hit to Ellie Armistead. Makes the play in time. And Lisa Fernandez and Maya Brady giving the signal for a review. This is something that UCLA could challenge here, and they will. The original call was that the throw was in time and Maya Brady was out at first.
Well, and why not, right, Courtney? They have not used the challenge yet. With that another run being able to score, I think the importance of going to this at this time is necessary.
It was a heck of a play by Ellie Armistead.
Really good. Up the middle. I think she got her.
Yeah. But one of the luxuries of the postseason is that we do have an umpire at every base. And obviously we have video review. So this decision will be made in Pittsburgh. Ooh.
Dang.
Be such a battle, and to see them up that big at Stanford. Wow.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say?
No, it's the first time I've been speechless in a little bit. I think the world of Nigeri Kennedy and what she's been able to do. So to say that I was expecting this, I thought it was going to be an absolute pitcher's duel and going to be close, and didn't know if Stanford was going to be able to produce offensively. That was my concern. Yes. It was not Nyjah coming into this series, but
it's only game 1.
Only game 1, but listen, this is a young lady that probably feels a certain amount of pressure too.
Oh, of course.
Like going into this series, if she didn't pitch well, that's a team that's not going to win. And that's what comes with the territory of wanting to be that one. But
Jaden Goodwin towards Alchin, who is just money in left field. Speaking of pitching, how do you think about Taylor Tinsley tonight compared to what we've seen in the past few weeks from her?
I think, you know, you and I talking over the break a little bit, I think this is the best that we've seen her throw. She threw against Grand Canyon in the last game of that regional, but to me, she wasn't as sharp. She was missing at times a little bit over the heart of the plate, and they weren't doing any damage with it. But tonight, man, she's had a really good game plan. This is one of the best offensive teams in the country, Georgia. I just don't think that they've been able to string some things together and get that senior leadership to be able to continue to keep going the way that they know how to do it. But she's exposed a couple weaknesses tonight on the right-handed hitters on the inner half. She hasn't even had to throw that change as much as we've seen her normally do. Pac-12 tournament, she threw it probably 3-4 times in an AB. But to me, it's been her controlling that inner half of those hitters that are getting on the plate.
Emily Digby lifting it to center. Mayonia.
Now that it's 11-1 for LSU over Stanford, but that's just me.
Wow. If we need a game 3 for this series, it will be tomorrow at 9 Eastern on ESPN. That means Georgia would need to win tonight. They are down by 4. Ellie Armistead batting in the 9 spot. 0 for 12 now in the NCAA tournament.
And this is going to be my last thing on the Stanford.
Are you sure?
It just happened to be a grand slam by Kelly Lynch, who played in the Pac-12 over the last couple of years, played against Stanford. It's the last thing I'll say.
You might have to define that one as another spicy super.
I don't know if it's because Nyjah Kennedy's worn out and tired. Definitely a lot more innings thrown on the year, different pressure, but not what I thought was going to go down.
Man, Taylor Tinsley. Matt, next time we'll give a spoiler alert.
Hey, Matt, tell your girl Tori Vidalis, stop texting me.
At the wall! Kearney with the grab on the hop.
So good. Jada Kearney going up and robbing Jadlyn Alchin on a rope. I love getting the little nuggets from Tori Vidalis. Hey, don't stop texting me. Give me the scoop, Tori.
You also can see the game on the ESPN app right now if you wanted to pull it up on your second screen. ESPN
I know,
Plus.
But hey, when Tori and I text, it's different. It's not like watching. You get the inside scoop. So
here's Palacios. Went yard again in the 4th inning. I say again because it just seems to be a theme with her.
I know.
Home run in 5 of her last 7 games for 6 total home runs. Oh my goodness. No way! Stop! Charlize Palacios! I mean, it looks so easy. See ball, hit ball over the fence. Rewind, repeat. This is the 18th time this season UCLA has had multiple home runs in a game.
Gosh, so much pop. You know, it's really a ball that bled over the heart of the plate, and she took it right center. I mean, it's a handoff for the Candy, y'all. We cannot afford to drop another home run jolly, and a big hug for the mental performance coach, Armando Gonzalez.
It's the 3rd time that she has had multiple home runs in a game this season. Goodness. Nothing like a 3-for-3 night with 2 home runs. 4 RBI tonight.
And this was a player that got hurt in the middle of the year last year and didn't even get to kind of be that support person that she was behind the dish and had to watch, so didn't get to experience any of those regionals. Obviously felt it the same way that these young ladies did. So you know the importance of what it's like when you have a healthy Charlize Palacios. And I say healthy because catchers are getting beat up all the time. You know, you got the aches and the pains of what that's like. But, man, her and Maya Brady are exceptional. They really are. With just, I'd like to kind of dip my hands in a little bit because they keep doing it when we're calling these games. So I feel like, you know, we'll take maybe like 1% of the responsibility for the role that they're on.
I don't think so. Megan Grant pops up in the infield. Digby calling everybody off. Look, and it's all about adjustments, right? You hit your first home run of the night, you drop the candy. Take two, you don't drop the candy.
And that's the first one. Whoopsie daisies. And I'm wondering if she got it in the dugout. But this time Kirk's like, you know what? Sorry. Hey,
come and get it.
We're going to work back up too. Us throwing you the candy.
So funny, the little things. Jordan Woolery. This UCLA team getting closer and closer to going back to the Women's College World Series for the 32nd time, a number that is unbelievable. Last year, that wasn't the case. Went 0-2 in the regional. Didn't even win a game in the tournament. They were at home this time last year, watching on TV. My, how things have changed in a year.
But even flipping it to look at Georgia, I mean, you look at yesterday and them getting shut out. That was only the second time all year that team had got shut out. This is an offense that shows up for their pitchers. And I think as a pitcher, when you don't maybe feel the run support that you're normally used to feeling, you can pitch different. And that at times can be what you're seeing maybe a little bit over the course of the last couple of days for Backus. Like, Backus is a pitcher that is going to give up a couple of runs. She's not putting donuts up on the board all the time. So as an offense, you know you have to be able to have her back. And we just haven't seen Georgia maybe find that spark in the super regionals that you felt on the tail end of their regionals last weekend. I mean, it was a game that kind of brought me to tears when I went back and watched, thinking about the emotional roller coaster that those grad players and seniors felt in that moment.
Over to the hot corner to Sarah Mosley. And that's out number 3, but another run on the board.
I'm telling you, we've seen her hit so many home runs. I'm never going to discredit that. But I am saying this is a short ballpark. There's no 190 fences in Oklahoma City. So I guarantee you the power will continue. But I'm just saying these are short fences. I pitched here. It's the worst park to pitch in. Because you see that happen all the time and you just are defeated as a pitcher because you're like, man, maybe in some fields that would be a pop-up. When Palacios gets a hold of it, you know it's going out off the crack of the bat. I'm never going to discredit how good of a hitter she is. So don't take what I said as that I think that's going to be a merely pop-up in the outfield. I'm just saying this is the shortest ballpark in the nation with 190 fences.
Well, who has not taken advantage of that has been Georgia, a team that hit 9 home runs in their regional. They've only scored 1 run in the super regional. This is game 2. They were shut out last night. And now top of the order for the 3rd time against Taylor Tensley, who has retired 13 in a row. The Georgia team that comes into this game hitting .311 in the NCAA tournament. Just gotten 2 hits tonight.
It would be shocking to me with Georgia not being able to hit a home run in this super regional, which is what they've been able to do on the year. And I mean, 46% of their runs on the year have come off the long ball. So for them to not be able to bring that power into the super regionals, to me, is a little bit concerning, and hence why they haven't been able to be in these ball games, because a lot of those runs are coming off the long ball. But I have to credit UCLA's pitching. I think that they've done such a good job at being able to hit good quality spots in on the hands, doing the little things right.
And they've held Georgia to 4 for 19 tonight, 2 for 17. Again, a Georgia team that has the second most home runs this season of any team left in the field behind Oklahoma.
And that, to me, also combos the offense of UCLA and how that feels smothering. Like when all the things are working to your advantage, meaning playing awesome defense, pitchers are rolling, and then you're just constantly laying it on. Like, it's hard to get into a rhythm as the opposing team. And that, to me, is what I see with Georgia. Like, they can't get anything going because anytime they do, something happens. Or Jalen Alchin lays out yesterday and makes that play and then slides in and makes that other play. So
this one's going through, though, for Dallas Goodnight. Bouncing its way out to left field, and she is on for the first time. Again, Tinsley had retired 13 in a row before this one.
And a good battle, Courtney. That was the 9th pitch of the at-bat. And to me, Dallas Goodnight has struggled in this series so far. And she's a player that kind of ignites the rest of the offense. And to me, a scrappy AB to hit it right through the 5-6 hole.
Now Sydney Chambly. They're going to swap out the softball here for Tinsley as Palacios goes out to talk to her sophomore pitcher. Palacios has been so important in helping bring along Taylor Tinsley, the sophomore, and then Caitlin Terry, the freshman, who pitched the shutout yesterday in her first career super regional appearance.
She's so good. And the press conference yesterday, going back and hearing Caitlin Terry, who threw her shutout, like, she'll know. They had asked her, hey, like certain things that stand out. And she said, yeah, I need to know when to take a Debbie. And I'm like kind of listening in on this press conference. I'm like, what's a Debbie? And Kellyanne Way-Perez said, tell them what a Debbie is. She's like, a deep breath. And Kellyanne Way-Perez went on to say, like, Palacios will go out and you'll hear her word to Caitlin Terry or to Taylor Tinsley, like, hey, like, take a Debbie. And it just, you'll see the shoulders go up and go down. So I think in moments when you know that those pitchers need you, and someone at times like Caitlin Terry who may push off like, hey, no, I'm good, you'll see Palacios continue to go out and help.
There goes Goodnight to second. She's safe. Her 13th stolen base.
Love the read by Dallas Goodnight, knowing that this is down.
2-2 to Chambly.
Swapping the cards.
Or you see that little device that she puts in there. This year, they're allowed to use a one-way communication device to signal in the pitches, as opposed to having to call the numbers out. Strikeout number 3 tonight for Tinsley. I know. One away for Jada Kearney. Singled in the first inning. So now on a 5-game hitting streak, and she's got a runner in scoring position.
Ooh. And that's a pitch, honestly, when it gets that type of vertical break down in the zone, it makes it so challenging as a hitter, especially with that spin on the pitch. It makes it seem hard. Hence why you'll get the big swing and miss, but that's a pitch prior, the change that sets up that one up and away to Kearney, and now you're in the head of a hitter. Like, man, is she going back with that off-speed 1-2? Is she going to climb the ladder? And that's when you play that cat and mouse game.
Kearney, the leading hitter for Georgia, tied for the lead in home runs with 20.
Good hold. But you just see the movement of Kearney's body, and that to me means, hey, that's a good competitive pitch as a pitcher at a 1-2 count. Yeah, the spot's up, but look at the lower half. Stopped herself. Now that sets up that change. Or the curve.
Back-to-back Ks for Tinsley.
This has to feel so good, Courtney, if you're Taylor Tinsley. Honestly, like, using this and putting it in the back of your dome, going up against one of the best offenses in the SEC. The numbers don't lie. The home run pop, the power, the senior vet leadership that they have. So for her to be able to go out and do what she's done, only give up those 3 hits. Yeah, they scored a run, but look at what your team's been able to do, that you know going in as a UCLA pitcher over the last couple weeks, they're going to score you some runs. That's never been an issue. So I think Kelly Inouye-Perez and this coaching staff has to appreciate Taylor Tinsley and her going the length of this game and keeping the velo up.
I mean, it is 22 pitches in this inning now for Tinsley, the most since the first inning, but she has struck out the last 2 batters that she's faced. Ball and 2 strikes here to Sarah Mosley, the other big-time home run hitter for Georgia. Just got a piece of it. Good night at second. Guro sprinting back, and the catch over her shoulder. This UCLA team tonight, top of the 7th inning. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 up against Lily Backus of Georgia. And you know the Bulldogs want to try to have a quick inning here so they can get those bats up. There's some work to do. Easier said than done against this Bruin lineup. Savannah Pola has been a clutch bat for the Bruins in this Super Regional and in Regionals. 2 walk-offs for her. The first against Virginia Tech last weekend in Regionals, and then last night to run roll this Georgia team.
And definitely a different type of adrenaline rush headed into the top of the 7th inning. There really is nothing like knowing we need 3 more outs to punch our ticket. And it's hard to, you know, press the fast forward button because you got to be in the moment. But knowing, like, all right, we got a 5-run cushion. Like, those are things that I would say that I would be thinking as an athlete. Like, hey, we got to stick to our process. But, like, those feelings and the butterflies that you're getting, knowing that in a couple days, if you seal the deal, you're going to get to go to Oklahoma City. That's what it's all about. And this was a team last year that didn't even get a chance. Didn't even make it out of that regional. So
didn't even win a game.
So for them to be able to have this, you know, kind of revenge tour mentality and work on all those little things behind the scenes, and we're counted and doubted out from the jump, to be at this point gives you a different level of love and respect for this game and for the grind, right? Like, those are the players that you enjoyed playing with. I mean, she has that rise ball, has the change. At times she's been able to come in and just be that 1-inning warrior mentality. But I think this is a classy move. I like it. I like bringing her in as a senior. I mean, obviously, Backus, emotional for sure. As much as you have the high of UCLA right now, maybe feeling like we're 3 outs away, you have the low of a Georgia team thinking like, gosh, we don't get back in it, our season's done. That time together, those vets, that leadership that they've had over the course of this year, you say goodbye to that, and never feels good.
And of course, Georgia being the home team will have a chance to bring those bats up in the bottom of this inning, but a Georgia team that has tied their most wins under Tony Baldwin with 43 this season. 9 graduate players on this roster. And a lot of them that have spent their entire careers at Georgia.
Yeah.
That's not something you see these days with the transfer portal.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. I mean, that's loyalty at its finest.
Yes.
And it goes to just show, like, that leadership that someone like Tony Baldwin and the staff that he's been able to put out.
Curl over to Armistead. 2 down. Coming up tomorrow, the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Final Four in Philly. The defending champion Notre Dame face Denver at noon Eastern, followed by Maryland and Virginia at 2:30. Both games on ESPN2 and the app. Tessa Malaulu up at the plate now, 2 down.
Fitting to me, Courtney, that Oklahoma is the first team to punch their ticket to the Women's College World Series when everyone's trying to take what's been theirs over the last 3 years. I mean, this is an Oklahoma team that's going for a four-peat, never been done in the history of the game. Like, people ask all the time, who do you think's going to take this thing at the end? And I mean, to me, it's Oklahoma's until someone goes and grabs it. They've shown at times signs of vulnerability this year, no doubt, but I also think teams are continuing to get better. There's been a different pressure that those seniors maybe have felt over the course of this year.
Malaulu to left field. That is 3 hits tonight for Tessa Malaulu. She came into the game with 5 hits in the NCAA tournament, so has already gotten half of that.
And what did Kelly Inouye Perez mention earlier? She said the importance of the bottom half of our lineup being able to show up. That, to me, is the key to us being able to have success. You know that up top you're going to get consistency with the Bash sisters and Maya Brady and Charlize Palacios and Jadlyn Alchin and that triple threat, as well as Megan Grant. But at times it's been the question mark of the bottom half of the lineup. And to me, it's all about this team being able to peak at the right time. And I think that's really what you are seeing in this Super Regional. Like, you're seeing the pitching show up with Caitlin Terry throwing a shutout as a freshman in her first Super Regional game. Then you're seeing a 3-hit performance right now by Taylor Tinsley, who to me at the Pac-12 tournament, I had a big question mark. Is she even going to be someone that is going to be able to go in a regional and a super? So these are all things that, if you're the coaching staff at UCLA, are all pretty bright moments of, hey, offensively we're good, defensively they've been fortunate enough to be able to play at home as well. They've just poured it on Georgia from the jump.
And they're on a 12-game winning streak, looking to make it 13 all the way to Oklahoma City. As Janelle Mayonio up after Tessa Malaulu tied her career high with her 3rd hit tonight. And no surprise, Janelle Mayonio, when she steps in the box, it is all battle.
She is so scrappy in that 9 spot.
And plays a mean center field.
It's good lights on that pitch.
Armistead. Out number 3 in Georgia's season.
And the hardest outs at times are those last 3 outs. I think always in these types of moments, especially when you do have that cushion from the offense, remembering that piece.
And for Georgia, remember too, you went in on Sunday with your backs against the wall. They had to win Game 6. They had to beat Liberty a second time in Game 7. We're down to their final out and came back and won that Game 7 to get to Super Regionals. This is a little bit bigger of a hole to climb out of.
It just hasn't felt like they've been able to get the ball rolling, right? Get any momentum on their side. And, you see those shots of Lily Backus and the frustration and the tears for sure. But you can only do what you can do in the circle, right? Like if your team's not able to put up kind of the run support that that Georgia has all year, you cannot hang your head. There's nothing at times as a pitcher you can do, and you never sit and blame the offense, but you take so much responsibility as a pitcher. You always feel if you give up runs or you give up a home run, like you feel that piece to your core. But you win and lose as a team, and you can just see the emotions coming from Georgia.
I'll say she did not go. It's a full count here to Lindy Ray Davis. And the emotions of those 9 graduate players who have kind of grown up together in this Georgia program. Lindy Ray Davis to the wall. A leadoff single for Georgia. Don't count them out yet. Her second hit tonight. She had the RBI single in the first inning to score Georgia's only run. And so pinch runner over at first base for Lindy Ray Davis. It'll be Haley Eaton. Up for Jaden Fields.
That change, Courtney.
Wow.
And it's being able to bring it out with command. Like that to me is a pitch that it's not going to register in as a strike, but you can just tell with Fields and the way she swings through it that it looks so good. And we've seen Taylor Tinsley have success on those right-handed hitters by really jamming them up in on their hands. Last pitch, 63 miles an hour, but did not miss, which essentially opens up that little rise on the outside part of the plate, that curveball.
This one hit to Curl, looking for 2. Fields will be safe, but Lindy Ray Davis, the pinch runner, Eaton, is retired. Out number 1.
Next up for the Bulldogs, second base number 2, Jaden Goodwin.
Now Jaden Goodwin up looking for her first hit tonight.
That being Taylor Tinsley's 100th pitch on the day. dirty.
Two to Goodwin. Got her to swing, strikeout number 5.
And stoic as ever, huh? Like her demeanor and her facial expressions, nothing changes. We've seen a little emotion with some defensive web gems that we've seen, but still throwing quality pitches late, 1 out away from punching that ticket to Oklahoma City.
Sarah Gordon will step in to pinch hit here with Georgia's season on the line. And UCLA can feel it, a trip they know well. Now down to their final strike. The Bruins are back!
now that it's 11-1 for LSU over Stanford, but that's just me.
Wow. If we need a game 3 for this series, it will be tomorrow at 9 Eastern on ESPN. That means Georgia would need to win tonight. They are down by 4. Ellie Armistead batting in the 9 spot. 0 for 12 now in the NCAA tournament.
And this is going to be my last thing on the Stanford.
Are you sure?
It just happened to be a grand slam by Kelly Lynch, who played in the Pac-12 over the last couple of years, played against Stanford. It's the last thing I'll say.
You might have to define that one as another spicy super.
I don't know if it's because Nyjah Kennedy's worn out and tired. Definitely a lot more innings thrown on the year, different pressure, but not what I thought was going to go down.
Man, Taylor Tinsley